All right.
All right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
Where
I don't even
is
know
the
if I do
place
that right,
going?
honestly. I don't think I've actually ever heard it besides him doing it in interviews. So I don't even know if
What
I do
is
that right.
the all right, all right, all right?
Yeah, I don't
I
even know.
mean,
I don't even know.
no, this is a true story. I used to do chat roulette, right? Just for fun. When I'm feeling bored, I do chat roulette, to kill some time.
Right.
And that was I don't know, about 6 years ago or so. Um, and I meet this guy from Canada. He's like a really, really old man. And the
Oh,
moment I landed on
you're
his
just gonna
thing,
put that like
he's
that, huh? You just put the really, really old man out there,
no, he's old. He's literally old. Like he's at least 60 or something. He has like this huge cigar. And the first thing he said is like, well, 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 my
huh?
name is King Ciggy. And then he just that was the dopest I've ever seen on the internet. Done by an old man. Just saying.
The
Just
dopest,
saying.
the dopest. You say?
hmm
He
The
said he said
dopest.
he said King Siggy.
Yeah. I think he's still on the internet. He must be on YouTube. He has an internet. He has an internet. He has a YouTube channel where all he does is literally smoke cigars, pretty much.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. All
You
right,
know?
now we've got the chat stream up top. That's for our future
Yeah.
viewers. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to T3G Tangents. This is the Tangents podcast. This is also Daily Coffee. We do this live on caffeine.tv/T3G Media. Today, we are talking passion as a business, and we are speaking with our good friend, Krawlrr. Krawlrr, how are you doing today?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing awesome, man. What about you?
I'm all right. Gus Rivera, welcome to the broadcast. Now, for those listening in the future or watching in the future, make sure you guys join us for these live sessions so you can have these live conversations with us. Caffeine has a no delay broadcast. See, it's doing it again. It's doing the camera thing again. It's doing the camera thing again. That's fine. We'll just have to keep turning it off and turning it back on like before. I gotta figure that out. Something's wrong with my camera.
It's okay.
Thank you for the follow, Gus Rivera. For those that are live, that are watching my broadcast, Krawlrr's broadcast, make sure you guys drop some questions, and we'll field them as we
Yeah.
go.
Any kinds of
What this
questions.
show is about? Whoa! Let's stay on topic, not any kinds of questions. uh,
Okay.
what
Yeah.
this show is
Questions
about
related to business.
what this show is about is doing what you love for a living, pursuing your passion as a business. I'm talking to everybody at every level. So last week I talked to Jordan Wayne Long, who is boots on the ground in Hollywood. He's working with top names. If you didn't watch that one, check out the T3G Tangents channel. Check out last week's video if you're watching this in the future. Oh my
hmm
goodness, this camera thing is really gonna kill me. I don't know what it is. I do not know what it is. Honestly, I don't know what does it. So I'll just have to stay on top of it. So Krawlrr, I asked you
Yes.
when we talked about getting you on the show. I asked you what if you would if this was kind of what you wanted to do. This is broadcasting. Now broadcasting is a very very broad term. I understand that, and I know you've got some
Yeah.
history in audio broadcasts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, what is your passion? What is the thing that drives you? And I will
Hmm.
I will accommodate for the fact that there is not necessarily one.
Yeah, that's a really deep question, to be honest. Let me just stay on top of my chat as well so I can actually um, you know, see what people are pretty much saying. Do
For
you
sure.
think Earth is flat? No, Earth is a cube. It's a try.
Yeah, this is Bizarre World.
Yeah, you can't really. Nobody knows actually. Maybe it's just a sphere. Maybe not. Um, about let's see, about 12, 13, maybe 15 years ago. It was my first time on the internet. I got so fascinated by radio. I would just be so um, amazed by how radio works. That connection between the broadcaster and the audience, and my life literally ever since sparked or started. Sorry. with this journey, how to actually build my own radio station on the internet. And that was, back in the day, when it was only able to do it with Shoutcast, if you remember Shoutcast.
Mm-hmm.
Wirecast, Shoutcast, that was like really 15 years ago, pretty much. So I had this dream ever since that I wanted to be sitting in front of my computer with my microphone, a camera, and talk to people about my story, pretty much. And by my story, I just mean, the things that I actually care about. 15 years later, here I am on T3G Media's show talking about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my passion, is pretty much talking to people and
Okay.
hopefully one day changing the world.
Wow,
Yeah.
let's just throw that in there. Just, as a side note, I would like to change the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really deep. You're not lying. That's definitely a deep question.
Yeah.
I think. So I mean, like, would you say that you've made it? I mean, you're here. You're broadcasting. You're broadcasting full time. Let's talk about that actually. What has allowed you to broadcast full time? What is, a lot of people, a lot of these young kids coming in here thinking they're gonna be millionaires, like what's his face, Ninja. Thinking they're gonna be making, what did they say? He makes something like $500,000 a day or whatever. Some ridiculous statistic. You.
I mean, yeah, if they work for it, they can. But yeah,
Right.
I see what you mean, actually.
It's just, there's just like a lot of news talking about the subject from outside, and from people that don't know anything about it, and
Mm-hmm.
and it just ends up being a numbers game. Everyone just ends up talking. When they were talking about
Yes.
PewDiePie a few years ago, it was PewDiePie makes millions of dollars. It didn't matter who he was. It didn't matter what his content was. It didn't matter what his personality was. It was just the numbers. For for
Right.
people outside of this space, it's all numbers game. So this is how much they make. Can you believe that someone makes this much money by playing video games? And like that's where they go with it. Not the actual, like you said, the conversation, the having an interaction with your audience.
Right.
So what would you say
Right.
has allowed you to be in this space and do that on a full-time basis?
Well, I'll tell you something. It still happens to me at night when I actually lay down and like I finish the broadcast and I go, about my night. It literally just hits me. Like, dude, you're actually doing what you have dreamed of doing for so many years. You have no idea how hard I fought for this. Because in my country, it was just so difficult to actually even broadcast audio, let alone broadcast video as well. I did work hard. My career went from, being a marketing manager to a radio host to a sound engineer to web developer to a DJ to what else? A call center manager to actually doing broadcast. Yeah, it's just crazy. But it's actually being able to work. Like I had to work a certain, amount of time,
Sure.
saved enough money to be able to do this. And what people don't know is that I have betted, I don't know what's the word in English, but I have betted everything I had on this. Like I literally just went, how did you say it? Like a nosedive, right?
I mean, it depends on. No, a nosedive is usually not a great thing. Nosedive is usually a. You mean like
there's an expression.
like a leap of faith?
Yeah, exactly. I took a leap of faith,
Okay.
and I said, you know what? I know I have this energy in me, and I have this way of me, talking to people and everything, and I just wanted to do it. I can speak English. I hope that I know how to talk. Then why not do it? And why not do it in the best place in the world? caffeine.tv.
Nice plug, nice plug. I like it. So, I mean, like,
Yes.
let's do touch on them. Yeah, I do like, obviously, clearly there's a journey. There's a journey. It's not something that you woke up one morning, hey, I'm gonna broadcast games. I'm gonna
Yeah.
broadcast
Yeah.
online, and then here you are doing it full time. That's never the journey. There's always a whole story behind it. There's always a whole life and a whole career behind it, and I think
Yeah.
that's what we're looking at here. What what made you come to Caffeine? I know there's a lot of talk on a lot of different platforms, and there's at least three other major platforms that I am aware of, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not aware of. So why Caffeine? What is the draw to Caffeine?
Do you want the cover up? They paid me. No, I'm just kidding. One day, so I actually was on Twitch, like everybody else. You know, I did my Twitch time. It was fairly successful, and like every time I do Twitch, I just don't feel it. I didn't feel myself connected to the whole thing, the whole concept of Twitch. You know, because Twitch is pretty much just a huge streamers factory. You know, they make the same streamer over and over and over. Like you can go browse, I don't know, people on PUBG, Fortnite, League of Legends, or whatever game or topic they want to stream on, and you just realize that everybody is almost the same. Everybody has almost the same overlays, almost the same games, almost the same, even the way they actually talk. And I was like, but I don't, like, how can I actually stand out? How can I tell
Right.
my story um, and touch more people, you know? Um, so, true story. I woke up one day, I was in the restroom, you know, doing my things. And I was literally like, on this phone right here, reading the news. You know, I have the Google News and stuff, so I
Their
just read the
Galaxy
news
S3.
in the morning. This one is, this is a Neo something. I don't even, this is an S3 probably. Um, and I was going through the news and I saw ex Apple developers want to do something like Rival on Twitch or something like that. I'm like, wait, what? Dude, I didn't even finish what I was doing in the restroom. I literally sprinted to my room. I installed the app. I did my first broadcast ever. It was on PUBG. I was like, nah, I don't feel it, man. Something is. I stopped for 2 weeks. All I did was hang out with people like Calf, like Nordfish. I discovered you actually through Nordfish, Mando, same thing. But I actually, throughout these 2 weeks, what I realized, this is it. You know that moment when maybe it's me, maybe I'm crazy or too spiritual, but it's literally in that moment. It was a moment of bliss. I knew that this is it. This is the moment I have been waiting for the past 15 years, and it's right here. And every time I actually think about it, I actually, like my eyes get watery because I dreamed about this every single day of my life. I'm not even kidding. Like every single day, I want to do it. I just wanted to do it. It's not even about gaming. It's the whole thing, It's the whole experience. So yeah, that's how I ended up on Caffeine.
So what gives you those warm and fuzzies, if you don't mind me asking? What specifically on the platform is what attracts you? Like, I mean, you can broadcast. I mean, besides the overlays and all that stuff, like Twitch and Mixer, there,
Yeah.
you can broadcast and you have an interaction with your audience. And I'll say for
Mm-hmm.
my part, I've done a little bit of Twitch. I've done a little bit of YouTube streaming. I've interacted
Yeah.
with some Facebook and Instagram broadcasts. Excuse me. My biggest thing was the chat. I hated,
Yeah.
and once I started on Caffeine, that was the biggest thing that pulled me out of any stream, any broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a friend of mine. He was doing some sketches. He was actually working on his daily comic, and
Yes.
and I'm like, why am I having to wait for him to see my message, let alone to get a response? Like, so it was just, it was
Mm-hmm.
so ridiculous for me, and I was like, man, this is why Caffeine's the joint. So that's what did it for me. That's what really pulled me into like
Yeah.
this is where I do my broadcasts.
You know, when you work in the world of marketing and publicity, you know that especially right now, attention is the new currency.
You've been
Uh,
listening to Gary Vee.
but actually, even before Gary Vee, I noticed that it's really about attention. If you get people's attention, you can sell them anything, literally,
True. Very true.
whatever you want. And caffeine is not just like people need to understand this. Caffeine is not just a streaming platform. It's literally a powerhouse for those who have a message, like a strong message that they can actually deliver it instantly. And here we talk about the chat experience, right? Um, there is this magic thing about instantaneous reactions where the broadcaster reacts to the messages as they are written. Sometimes people say, you actually answered me before I even finished writing, which is it just feels like magic.
I've actually noticed that. That was like a weird thing I experienced the other day. I typed something, and it felt as if as I hit enter, I got the answer. I was like, wow, that was quick. Like, how'd you even read it at that point?
Because, if we talk from a psychological, point of view, it's little doses of dopamine. When you actually go on your phone, on your Facebook, like the moment you actually hear a notification, you go crazy. You're like, oh my God, I got a notification. I have to like read it. Then, that was just a summary. Great.
Right.
Then the moment you hear it again, you're like, oh my God, I gotta check it. So take that to immediate and instantaneous interactions on social media, social platforms, like Caffeine. It just releases amazing amounts of dopamine, dude. Like, you have no idea. The moment you say hello, you like, hey, what's up? Then, wow, he noticed me, or she noticed me.
Right.
While on other platforms, you don't get that. Sometimes you get noticed, and sometimes you get buried in the middle of all these messages.
Right.
Yeah.
And more often than not, if you jump on and there's already 200 people, they won't even see you come in. There's a conversation already happening, usually within the broadcast, within the chat room. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing that I find interesting on the other platforms. A lot of the times, you see conversation in the chat, not with the broadcaster. And they'll pick and choose, like, while they're broadcasting, they'll see a message and they'll oh yeah, well, about that. But like 100 other things have been said, and that's why a big deal on Twitch, and I'm sure Mixer, is moderators. Like, there's people who are empowered to be like, hey, I'm gonna read the chat for you while you broadcast, so that you don't have to kind of split your attention. Like you said, attention is the key. It's very interesting on Caffeine to have that kind of instant. When you're playing a supported game, you've got the conversation's right there. You're not even looking away. You're not trying to figure out a different window. Like, where's the chat at? What's the chat doing? No, it's just you're here, and it's just like you catch it at the corner of your eye. Like me, I lean towards the left for whatever reason. When I play video games, my attention leans left. So and that's the great thing, is I just moved it to the left side. So, like, if I'm playing,
so it was like
boom, right
very
there.
natural to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm already looking this way because this is where I'm looking for game chat. This is where I'm looking for a bunch of other stuff. So I'm just like, boom, that's where I'm looking.
Okay, so for you, it's about that human interaction, pretty much. That
100%.
It lags in other platforms.
100%. That's the biggest thing for me, is I just, if I'm gonna do it, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years now, and the biggest thing for me on YouTube is the comments. Like, people comment. When people comment, even if it's just like, hey, cool video, or like, my biggest takeaway is when somebody says, thanks so much for the great review, I'm gonna go and buy one. And I'm just like, that's so crazy. Like, and people will say, like, oh, no one's done an in-depth review of this, thanks so much. And I'm just like, man, like, I'm not doing it. Like, I already bought the thing, and I'm not doing it for myself. So, like, to hear somebody get the value out of it, it's just like, it's that dopamine hit, like you said. It's like, I get a notification, and it's like, great video, thanks for the review. You know, it's helped me make my decision. Oh, man, that's exactly what I'm trying to help. You know, that's where exactly I'm trying to help out. So, like, it's 100% the conversation for me. You know, and I've done broadcasts on YouTube before. That's where we used to do Welcome Slash.
What's that?
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same because it was I'm playing, and then chat message on this screen while I'm hardcore focused. You know, it's not the same feeling. It's definitely not the same feeling for me.
Hello, Mukesh Gupta. How are you doing? You know, people, like you said, the kids. I don't want to call them kids. They are also
the up and comers.
Yes, let's call them that. The up and comers. So most of them, like you said, they look at PewDiePie or Ninja or Summit or Dr. Disrespect, and they're like, yes, I want to be like him, which is a great thing. You know, it's great to have a hero in your life, an example that you aspire to be like. But at the same time, they are not prepared from a business standpoint or a business
absolutely
view, if you want to say it like that. Your role is not, you're not a pro player. For example, if your thing is all about gaming, you are not a pro player.
Right.
So people are not here for you to talk about the game from a technical side, unless you are really, like, you're gonna nerd about the game, which is rare. I've seen only a couple of people do that, like a handful, actually. So your role is entertainment. It's either entertainment or educational, or education, actually.
Yep.
Being a pro player actually falls in the entertainment, category, because you're still entertaining people with your pro plays. But one of the things that people told me when I did Twitch, I've been hanging out with partnered Twitch streamers for the longest. Like, dude, I've done Twitch before it was even Twitch, and I'm talking about since 2009, 2010.
Wow. Like, that's the early days of video, not just Twitch.
Right.
2010 is when YouTube just popped. YouTube just got big in 2010.
Exactly. Dude, I've been doing this before video was a thing, because if you remember how social media actually evolved, it was chat, then audio, then video, then the whole images and stuff, then now, what we see nowadays. But back in 2009 and 10, we were doing live stream. We were doing like Ustream. That was before Twitch was even a thing.
I remember Ustream. Wow.
But people told me one thing: if you want to be successful in like the live streaming world, you have to combine between being somewhat good at the game and somewhat funny, while keeping a good balance in between.
Yeah.
And that is very important. If you can master that, you can get at the level of anyone, of course, with time and dedication and a lot of professionalism, which unfortunately most of the up and comers lack. Everybody can have an overlay, everybody can have the best rig, the best setup, the best everything, but if you're not professional, you're not gonna go anywhere. You just be another dude playing a game or someone in front of the camera. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.
It's 100% true. Excuse me. I jump on, I try to, camera killing me. I try to jump on as many different broadcasts on Caffeine as I can. I don't want to just. I'm not a fan of just sticking in kind of like a little circle or whatever. Plus, I'd rather not see the same two people at the top of my list every time I open Caffeine. Which I'm sad to say,
bro.
Krawlrr, I love you. You see, but you know that it's you. You know that it's you. That's the thing. You know that it's you,
man.
So it's you and Cap. It's always you and Cap. So
it's all right.
but it's not even that. To me, is
actually,
I want to see everybody. I want to see everybody that I like. You know, I don't want to have to scroll down and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people down. I've got Bear Tiger. I've got Mangubi. Mangubi is like, I love watching his drawings. Like, the kid's got so much talent. So like, I don't want to have to scroll down. Let's say if everyone's on, let's say if everyone that I know is on, what's the priority? Then it's based on who's watching, blah blah blah. And then I don't. That's why I like to see everything. That's why I like to see everything. So I'll go down to the bottom and start from the bottom and go up, and just see who's on, who's talking, and that's the biggest draw for me. Is if I jump into a broadcast and there's no talking, it's just gameplay. Camera, no camera, whatever. But if you're not talking, especially if you don't have a camera,
it has to be a conversation. Yeah.
I don't care.
And Elliot, thank you so much for sharing the broadcast. And what do I think about you? You're an amazing person. I told you, you're funny. I love playing with you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Also, don't eat while you're. No, I'm just kidding. Just keep doing what you're doing.
I was gonna say
I'll just tell you something, Dalibor. Me and Caff, I want you to actually consider us more of gatekeepers. We're not even
the gatekeepers. I like that.
We're actually broadcasting, yes, but when someone new comes to the platform, I do believe and I do feel that we have been so involved in the platform that we know a little bit more about it than your regular broadcaster who's just there playing a game.
For sure.
If you come to a person and like any broadcaster, and ask them, yes, they're going to tell you about most features, move the camera, zero delay and everything. But how can you actually sell the platform to someone who's been using Twitch or YouTube for 7 years, for example? We took it upon ourselves to actually be there for the newcomers who joined the platform to actually, I wouldn't say sell the platform to them, because the platform sells itself, but we are more of a catalyst to these people, so that they can actually make a very rational, choice with all the evidence. Or like, if you can do it, I can do it, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely.
So that's
and I've actually said, and I've talked to people about this. I like that you two are kind of like the man. Thanks for the follow, out to me, man. I like that you two are more often than not at the top, because if somebody is jumping on for the first time, if they're coming in through an ad, as I've tested, you two are kind of the, I don't want to say favorites, because I've gotten other results. I've gotten other results besides people who are prominent.
And even if you say favorites, I'll just be like, no, we're not. Actually, we're definitely not.
Let's say preferred or whatever. I personally prefer that you two are, as you said, the gatekeepers, because I'll be honest, I'll talk about Caffeine on broadcast, but I don't have, you have an explanation ready. You've already thought about it, you prepared it in your head, so right off the bat, if somebody's new, hey, just checking it out, boom, here's what I'm going to tell this person.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, cool, how are you liking it? I'm just gonna have an organic conversation, because I'm not gonna throw this camera out the window. I'm just not ready for that. I'm not mentally there, because I'm very likely to just get in the game. So I've had one of our longest fans on T3G is Big Smoke, Mika Finnick. He's on Caffeine. He shows up and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm just so deep, and I'm I don't even realize when that happened. I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Because I'm
to me as well.
Because I'm doing these I'm doing these playthroughs, and I'm always playing new games, so I'm just cracking, and I'm just like, man, I feel bad now. Blaster makes fun of me. He'll jump in. He'll be like, "Don't ignore your viewers." So that's the thing.
Loon says it's a new skill set.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's being able to still play the game effectively and enjoy the game while still paying attention to other things. That's huge. That's huge. So yeah,
Once you master it, it's magic. Absolutely. Yeah. I
so
completely agree
that's
with that.
why I prefer you guys to be the kind of point of contact. And I'd be okay if they said, like, want to learn about caffeine, talk to these people. You, Nordfish, Calf, like, boom, like, let's get a list of 5-10 people who, like, have an idea of how to talk about it. I don't want to, like,
But
professionally. Like, I want to say professionally, because most
okay.
people are going to
Okay.
just have that organic conversation, like, oh, what's cool or whatever. Whereas
Mhm.
sometimes, I mean, realistically speaking, Caffeine doesn't have an about page. There's not a ton of, like, upfront information besides
Mhm.
no
Okay.
delay chat, integrated.
Actually, wait. They do have one. That's not possible. Wait.
But not
Because
like.
to be honest, that's the first thing I had to read the first day
But
I
I just
came.
mean, like,
Like,
and
who
I
are they?
but that's the thing, is most people don't think about it, right? Because a lot of things like this, they'll have the features, like, boom, front and center. Like, you go to the website, you're gonna see
Mhm.
broadcasts. It's gonna tell you. They're gonna be like infographics with arrows that point to stuff or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
just not there. This is because the whole experience is meant to be streamlined. So when you get on, when you're watching a broadcast, it's nice and clean, black and white, just like this conversation. Like, the overlay is mine, in
Yeah.
the broadcast. This, when I'm in the actual Discord conversation, it's just me, you, and the leave call
Yeah.
button. That's all there is. Like, there's nothing else.
Hello, Chaos Theory.
And that's the thing, is when you're in the Caffeine, when you're watching Caffeine, it's just
Yeah.
the video and the chat and nothing else. There's no, like, even the Caffeine logo hides itself when you're watching. So,
You
like,
know why?
it's a streamlined, because it makes it feel like a theater. It makes it feel like like more of a personal thing,
Exactly. It's a conversation.
right? So that's why I
When
said, like,
when you talk to someone, you don't put like goggles or whatever they call them and like a suit or anything. You just talk. You
right.
can even close your eyes and talk to them, and it would probably still feel the same. So this is a T3G Media. Sorry, Dalibor T3G Media is also a broadcaster on Caffeine. We are talking about passion as a business. That's his show. I'm actually his guest, by the way. So
Welcome,
yeah.
Krawlrr's broadcast.
Yeah, welcome to the Bcast. How are you doing, Chaos Theory? It's so nice to actually see you here. But here's the thing, Dalibor. You can be that gatekeeper. It's not like someone told us to do that. We just did it as
Sure,
volunteers.
sure. And I'm not saying other people couldn't do it. I'm just saying, like, I've noticed a certain type of presentation from 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
people, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that coming in as a new person, like, I think I watched Uranium first, Green,
Mm-hmm.
cool people,
Yes.
but it was not until I watched, like, I talked to 510, and then
Mm-hmm.
I went down the Buggy Boys rabbit hole. And then from there, but, like, the real conversation, I mean, honestly, no one ever mentioned the moving the camera until I was already broadcasting for a couple weeks. I was on
Yeah.
broadcast watching your broadcast while I was playing, and you said you could move the camera. I stopped everything. I opened your broadcast and I moved the camera, and I was like, dude's crazy. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a
Yeah.
thing. So, like, that's the thing, is you thought about these things to talk about. Because, like, to me, I don't even remember that you can move the camera until I'm like, man, what's behind there? Oh, I can move that. Like, and I know. So, like, that's the thing, is I don't think to talk about it. That's not a thing that my thing is the chat. That's my biggest thing, is the chat. So that's
Yeah.
what I would
Chat.
focus on. If
Yeah.
somebody's like, hey, like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
like about Caffeine? Live chat. That's it. That's my thing. Live chat. Because that's the
If
thing.
someone asked me what do you like about it, I'd be like, caffeine.
See, and that's the thing. Like, you've got a whole other thing. Like, you've got a whole other presentation for it, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's definitely a good thing for it.
But but I'm sure you watched my broadcast many times.
I have.
And I have a saying or a sentence that I always say it, or I always say, if I won't buy it, I won't sell it.
Mhm.
You know, like, if I'm not gonna use it for myself, if I'm not gonna, like, um I mean, it's clear, if I won't buy it, I won't sell it.
For sure.
It's very self-explanatory, which means that I'm not going to sell you something that I'm not going to use. Meaning, caffeine right now is at a stage where it's usable. It's really usable. I can even, I'm not going to talk about myself. There are people who've been here for just a week and they are already, benefiting from the positive things of caffeine. Why? Because they understand that caffeine is not about follow for follow. It's not about leeching. It's not about, playing favors or anything. It's social interaction at its core. Literally, social interaction. If you're good with social interactions, you'll go like an airplane, like a jet, whatever, done by Elon Musk. So, even though most of them fail, but anyway, that's another story. Hey, I love you, Alan. Okay, I'm just don't hate me. I'm just saying, like, you actually did it after what, 100 times, 100 tries, 100. Anyway, but yeah, people actually stream with the intent, or in the back of their head, they are this streamer. But here on Caffeine, we are ambassadors. We're not streamers. We're not broadcasters. We are literally ambassadors. Some people say, hey, I don't know if it's going to work on Caffeine. Ah, man, I think Caffeine is dying. Ah, man, we don't have the numbers. Think about this. If the Rolling Stones, it's just an example, okay? This is
Right.
maybe fiction. But if the Rolling Stones one day decided, okay, a journalist from there was like, okay, what's the hottest, newest streaming platform around there? They do their research, they find, oh, it's Caffeine. Now imagine if the journalist, created an account, you don't know who he is or she is, and he's just genuinely asking you questions, and you're like, yeah, man, whatever, and you just like playing the game. You're not even interacting and stuff.
Right.
Good or bad publicity? Now imagine if the first person they see, whomever that person is like so energetic to the point that the journalists will just feel like they want to jump out of the place. They want to be like, oh my God, this is so good. I don't know why I'm screaming, but it's great.
Right, exactly.
That's the kind of energy, Calf, Nordfish, other people actually try to input into people. Be positive, be energetic, because it's not about the now, it's about what's going to happen next. And what's going to happen next, you really don't want to miss out on it, because when it will happen, you'll be so surprised. You'll just be like, like mind blown.
Right.
Pretty much.
That's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing. There is a lot of talk about, things not panning out or whatever. There's rumor talk, and that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the platform. I think what it promises to deliver is 100 times more valuable than what it may lack currently.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing to keep in mind. Now, on to broaden our topic a little more.
Yes.
Are you, as a
I'm
broadcaster...
not going to tell you about the color of my socks. That was just a joke. But if you want, maybe
But
after
I thought we
this,
were doing
I
the
can
soccer
actually-
reel. I thought that was the big thing. I thought that was going to be the draw for this episode. Is we're
It's
doing the
branded.
soccer
I can't do any brand placements, man.
So,
Yes, tell me.
beyond caffeine, you've got Twitter,
Yes.
and we've got everything in the video here, of course, in the broadcast. Facebook. I found the Facebook. I found the Instagram. There's only one post on the Instagram, so I'm gonna need you to get your gram game up.
Yes, because I hate Instagram so
I'm gonna
much.
need you to get your
Yes,
gram
tell
game
me.
up, sir.
Yeah, I need some grams.
And the
Yes, tell me.
the beyond caffeine, what else do you want to do? What else do you want to pursue? Whether it be humanitarian work or projects or anything beyond this. I mean, like for me, I come from YouTube. Like for me, caffeine is the icing. Like for me, broadcasting live here, the having the interactions, this is just icing on the cake. I have 6 shows that I do a week on YouTube. Like I got a video to put out today. You know what I'm saying? So like I have 3 channels. Like I have tons of stuff that I already do. So like this is just icing for me. I just really like creating and especially having a conversation about stuff. So, I do the Wednesday show about comics here. I do this and I broadcast games obviously. But it's just like this is icing. This is icing for me. What else do you want to do?
What else do I want to do? Huh? That's another deep question, man.
Good. That's what it's
What
about.
are you, Dr. Phil? No.
It's about passion. We're about passion here.
Can you tell me how to host you on my channel? You are already hosting me. Like if you watch me, I am hosted. That's the question. Okay, here is the answer. About 10 years ago, I swore on myself that I was, like, the moment I make it to the top, whatever that top is, which is relative, obviously, but the moment I am financially comfortable to a point that I can actually give back, I promise that I'm gonna build a shelter for the homeless. That's número uno, sorry. Número dos is build a hospital for here in my country, obviously. I mean, all of these things are in my country. Sorry, because
just like a homeless shelter in the Antarctic, just like arbitrary placements.
Wait, that's a good suggestion actually.
Just a shelter, just like a single shelter.
I'll actually think about that. No, but seriously, a shelter for the homeless. Actually, a shelter. I have an idea of how to make it autonomous, so that the people who actually, the people from the streets or whatever they are, when they join, it's gonna, it's like a rehab center to make them get out from that phase and become more active into society.
Krawlrr, you and I are gonna talk because I've had, and I am not even joking, the exact same thought. So we'll talk more.
Well, there you go. Mine's alike. So they are, taken from the street, given education, a work which is inside the shelter. It's more of an institution, and they produce whatever, and whatever they earn is given back to them. So it's more, a cycle, so that they actually can finally have the life they always lacked or wanted to have.
Right.
A hospital, so that people will have the ability to to get the healthcare they deserve, and a mosque. Yes, I'm a religious person as well, so
nothing wrong with that.
A mosque for people to actually just do their religious stuff. So these are like the 3 things I hope from the bottom of my heart that one day I'll be able to do. One thing at a time, but like outside of caffeine, I think I am actually living the dream. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do. I don't think I would like to branch out and do create content outside, for example, on YouTube or somewhere else. I am a caffeine sellout. No, I'm just kidding. But
caffeine sellout, like nice.
It's gonna be caffeine 121%.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. As soon as you said autonomous, because I have tried to have that conversation with several people over here, and it's very, very interesting that you had the literal exact same thought. So I thought self-sustaining building is how I call it. But yeah, same concept. Yeah. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
I dream of that, dude. I dream of it like every day.
I'm there. That's why we talked a lot about. My company is Nexus Studios. I don't know why I put it in quotes. Like my company is Nexus Studios Inc. But it's the corporation behind the brands. Like T3G is like, I guess, our brand.
Yeah.
But like we've done like web design, like you said, we've done book covers, we've done all sorts of design solutions for people over the years, and I really wanted to pull away from it being like I redesigned the website, and I'm still working on the site, but I redesigned it because I wanted to have 3 sections. I'm like, what we do, because we do a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of really cool creative stuff we're doing. We do the T3G videos, the T3G broadcasts.
Yes.
We've got Deadweight Games, which if you guys are, on Steam, G Shift, that's our thing.
Yeah, G Shift.
And then
G Shift guys on Steam.
We also have Catalyst Publishing, which is in a really short description of it is a Steam for game or for creators, for writers and artists that is 100% royalties. So like the idea was we had comic books and we had stories that we wanted to put out, and I'm like, we need a website. Like, we have the traffic, we have unlimited bandwidth. I'm like, why don't we just offer that space to other people as well? And then essentially it's just mutually beneficial. If somebody comes to see their stuff, they get all the ad revenue from that.
Yeah.
And then if somebody's like, oh, what's this website about? And they check out our stuff, I win too. So everybody wins. Like, I needed a website anyway. My stuff was going to be up anyway. So now I'm just like, now I'm giving somebody else the space to do the same thing if they don't want to manage their own website. Welcome, BuzzAx. And that's the kind of stuff we're doing. And so that's what we do section. And then what we do for you, as a customer, as a client, that's our design services, that's our website services, video services, etc. And then on top of that, my biggest section is I wanted to do a third section called What We Do for Everyone Else. And that's
what we do for everyone else.
And that's like any educational stuff, because that's, like I said, a lot of the stuff that we've done on T3G media on the channel has been educationals, like tips and tricks, how-tos, just like best practices, like daily stuff. I used to do, for about a year and a half, I did a series called 1 Minute Wednesday, where just real quick, I would talk about one single subject, just so it's not diluted, so it's not super in depth. It's like, what is the I did one episode where it was like, what is the difference between these USB ports? Like, what do there's 5 different USB types. So I just talked about like, this is what they are. These are the different types. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all there is. Like, it was just like super quick, super breakdown, and that's the kind of stuff I do because I wanna have that information available for people, because I know that when I look for stuff, I go to YouTube. If I don't know something, I go to YouTube. I learned something from another YouTuber, big name, Peter McKinnon, and I liked his process, and I really liked that. It saved me a ton of time. So I did a video on the same thing because I found like a shortcut within that process. So I'm like, you don't have to do this step. You just do it from here. Boom. Now you're saving 2 clicks. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's, this is supposed to be saving you time. So you save 2 clicks, you're saving even more time. And that's the kind of stuff is I like to give those, like, hey, this is how you do stuff. So educational.
Imagine if it was on Caffeine.
Educational. That'd be interesting.
Educational stuff.
Hey, I broadcast all of my 1 Minute Wednesday videos one day. I just hit play on the playlist. I had a few people watch. And it was great. It was great. But it was but it'll be educational stuff. It'll be humanitarian stuff. I have and I'll be honest, I'm happy to have anyone steal this idea, so I'll say it on broadcast. He says, but there won't be conversation on them. I was actually there while I broadcast it. I was there, so I still had the conversation on the videos. But
they would probably. I mean,
but the other thing I want to do is I want education is becoming freer and freer, and the problem is that you don't, as a user, as the person wanting to learn, it's hard to figure out where it all is and what you can learn and what is available. So what I want to do is have a place, especially in underserved areas. So I don't know if you know anything about the Chicago school system. There's a lot going on in Chicago as far as schools. Schools are shutting down. It's harder and harder essentially to get to school. People are having to be shuttled, several neighborhoods over just to get to school. So that's the kind of stuff, I hear in just my area, just in the Chicago area. So I want to basically create free learning centers and give people, if they complete the program there, give people a job afterwards. So if you come through and you want to, let's say, fix computers, we'll teach you everything that we can teach you. We'll have every resource available. We'll have all the online classes. We'll have, hard physical stuff for you to work on. And at the end of it, you'll have a job for a year. Period. Once you've completed your training, you get a job. And after that, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to stay with us, but it's just like you come through and like for free education, you essentially work for us for a year, and then you do whatever you want to do. If you want to stay with us, you stay with us. If you want to do your own thing, you do your own thing. And that's...
So, pretty much, you're doing exactly what Gary V, talking about. The legacy. You want to leave the Dalibor legacy behind. Like something that people would be like, that person actually changed my life.
That'd be great. That
Like
would be
imagine if a kid, like a 5-year-old kid, you touch them, like you change their life positively, of course.
Jeez. Yeah. Your verbiage is not the greatest. You impact them.
You know what? Yeah, let's not even comment about that. Yeah, you impact them in a positive way. 20, 30, 40 years later, they meet you. Dude, you changed our life. Or not even meet you, but they can talk about you. They can write about you. You never know who that person you actually touch right now and impact, right? Americans. So the person you actually impact, what they can actually become in the future. And that's really important. That's why Caffeine right now is at that very place where it's really at the center of changing people's lives. If they believe.
They believe. Close your eyes.
I can't change the wording about that one. I mean, I would love to change the wording, but it just sounds religious. No, but seriously, you have to look at it from a spiritual point of view.
It's
believe.
I mean, to have faith in something is to have faith in something. Whether that be a tangible thing, and we'll call the internet a tangible thing. You have people who, when the internet came around, were like, phase, nothing, not gonna happen. It's gonna fade out. No one's gonna use it. It's crazy. Guess what?
Right?
Everyone is using it. Every single person on the planet uses the internet. And there were people when it first started that did not believe it was going to be a thing. They did not have faith. And then those people are now 40, 50 years later catching up. They're trying to figure out how to manipulate the market. And that's honestly that's why people like Gary V have the businesses that they have.
Yes, sorry. That's FCC.
What's that about?
No, I said FCC.
Oh. Well, there's that. There's absolutely that. But I just mean even on a more,
I'm not American. Okay.
On a more practical level, that's why you have companies like Gary V's, VaynerMedia. They produce social content for huge names, Pepsi, Coke, all the huge names, because the people that run those companies didn't think about that stuff ahead of time. When Facebook started, when Facebook first became public, and you could make a business page, I guarantee you, Pepsi wasn't the first one on there. It was some dude who ran a local, laundromat or whatever. He was like, oh, I've got a laundromat. I'm gonna put this on Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook. Everyone's talking about it. I'm gonna put my laundromat up there. And guess what? Now he's got 37 stores. That's the thing is, it was some local person. It was some person with a startup who said they just had this idea.
Remind me of crazy things.
They just had this idea where it was like
10 years ago. About 10 years ago, I had over 50,000 followers and subscribers and likes or whatever you want to call them from different networks combined. When social media wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
And one day, I got so mad, clicked on remove. Literally, just like this. The leash page, gone. So yeah, I remember when internet used to be cool. Now everybody got 10,000 followers, 10,000. I think 10,000 followers right now is probably what? 100 followers 10 years ago?
Yeah, that's. I mean, the 10,000 followers is the barrier for entry at this point. You won't
Right?
you won't have, if you don't. I don't want to say that you can't get stuff done under 10,000 followers. I'll be honest with you, like we don't make a ton of money off our YouTube channel, but we make a few dollars, and we just crossed 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
It's more, it's shifted. It very much used to be, your follower or subscriber count equaled the amount you could get out of that. It equaled how much you could tap that audience, because the internet used to be very, very niche markets. You would, I used to have an X-Men fan page back in about 2001, 2000, even older. I used to have an X-Men fan page, and I was writing fanfics. And one of my current friends, who I've still never met in person, I met while I was on the internet, and this was at a time when, I was in high school. My mom was like, "Yo, you can't ever give out your real name on the internet for any reason. Someone's gonna come and kidnap you, and they're gonna kill you." So, and I mean that was the era, right? The late '90s. That was the era. You can't give out your information like that. So I created a fake persona. I had a fake persona on the internet. I had a basketball poster. It was a two-sided poster at home. Mm-hmm. One side was Kevin Garnett, and one side was Horace Grant. And if you know who those names are, that puts you in the same age bracket as me. Those are late '90s basketball players.
I come from Africa. No internet.
Sir,
no,
you're not the only person I'm talking to. There's a whole audience here. So I was like, I'm gonna be Kevin Grant. That's I picked one from each side. So I was Kevin Grant for at least 5-6 years on the internet, and I made friends, and like I participated in groups, and I did, like I said, I did these like fan fiction websites. We were gonna make these link websites. Like we were everywhere, but only everywhere within that tiny X-Men fan space. Dude. We weren't everywhere on the internet. Like now, someone's everywhere on the internet. Everyone knows about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Casey Neistat blew up 2 years ago, like, house mothers, like, we're talking about Casey Neistat. Because once you pop now, you're everywhere. Back then, even if you popped, you only popped to, like, 100,000 people. The same 100,000 people that were doing the same thing you were doing. The X-Men fanfics, like I was friends with a girl who had, I think, the most popular at the time Wolverine fan site in the world. And I was chatting with her on a daily basis. Like I was, internet friends with her. And that was the thing, is like I was friends with like the top name in the game. Mm-hmm. But it was such a small market that it didn't matter. It didn't matter back then, That 100,000 people felt like the world. But now, 100,000, you look at somebody's channel or on YouTube, you look at somebody's Instagram. Yeah. Oh, 100,000? That's whatever. 100,000 followers on Twitter? You're doing all right.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Now it's millions. Now it's people are popping when they break 1 million followers. And now you're just like, wow, that's a huge channel. Like, that's when you're big. Before, like, you get 100,000 views a month. That was your website was the shit. Pardon my language.
Yeah, it's all right. Your French is excused.
It was the doo-doo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, once the internet scaled, but, like, that's the thing, even then, when and that's the thing I think that caused a lot of these older people who, at the time, were just looking at, their experience of the internet was their child following NSYNC online, and it looked like to them that everything on the internet was about NSYNC, or somebody somebody's kid was following sports, and they thought the internet's just about sports, because that's
Yep.
all you see. Because that's, everything was so niche down that like you couldn't.
It was so narrowed. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't escape. Like you had to actively like force your way out of the little circle that you get into, just to see other things. Because even then, if you searched for X-Men fan site, there is no algorithmic, hey, maybe you'll like this too. Maybe you'll like this Spider-Man site. It was like,
Yeah.
you didn't search for it, you didn't get it. So
Exactly.
nowadays it's like, oh, you like Avengers? Check out this entertainment website. By the way, check out this movie website. Now you're in a whole different bubble already.
Yeah.
And that's just one search. So I think that was the big reason that a lot of people back then didn't actually have a vision of what's coming. And I think that's, to go back to Caffeine, I think that's the thing now is we have a lot of people who are not seeing the vision, not seeing the potential of what's coming, and they're saying, oh, this is doing this, and this is acting this way, and Caffeine is dead, or whatever. It's about what's coming. It's not about what's now.
I just laugh when someone says that Caffeine is dead. I just laugh. If it's dead, then how did I get 1,000 followers in less than a month? Dead. Maybe it's dead.
Just flossing on me like that in my own show, on my own show. You're just gonna floss on me with 1,000 followers?
Nah.
Just gonna floss on me like that. See how it is.
I can do that, sir. You know I'm a nice person. I'm a very nice person.
To be fair though, you have mobilized the Moroccan market, and I think we haven't mentioned that you're from Morocco, in Africa.
Yes.
Which I looked that up on a map the other day. I don't even remember why or how, but I ended up looking at Morocco on the map, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's right there. Like it's in Africa.
Yeah, that's Krawlrr right there.
Right,
His house.
let's pull down the satellite imagery here of Krawlrr's house. But no, it was like you've mobilized that market. Like I've been on different times of the day when you're not broadcasting. Let's say you take a day off, and I'm talking to people. Oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Morocco. And I was like, man, Krawlrr's putting in work. Like you've mobilized that market. Like there's a couple Balkan people already on this site, but if I was in the Balkans, maybe I could mobilize the Balkan market. But I'm as American to them as anybody at this point. Now I can just.
I promised that I was gonna do my best to bring the best, literally the best. I'm not talking about any streamer or viewer. I happen to have a bucket. I want you to picture a bucket, okay, filled with like half is filled with streamers and content creators, and the other half is purely viewers. They don't even they don't play.
Right.
I mean, they don't stream, sorry, or produce content. Hey, Rich That Day, how are you doing? So I'm kind of holding them off a little bit still,
Oh, you're talking about this is like a bucket that you can just like spill out on the Caffeine?
Yeah, I can do that if I wanted to, but
okay, I'm waiting for that move.
Yeah.
Let's see, Krawlrr's gonna go from 1,000 to 5,000 just overnight.
No. Trust me, Moroccans are not that stupid. Nah, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, we know him. Click. No, there has to be value, pretty much. But overall, I'm very happy to see that, my fellow Moroccans are actually watching other broadcasters here on the platform. I just, I get people like, hey, dude, I had some Moroccans the other day. What? That's really awesome. They know you. Like, of course they know me. I brought them here.
Right.
But it makes me happy. It means that the broadcaster is doing something awesome, because they wouldn't just go and be like, randomly, get into whomever's broadcast just for the show. No, they want value. They want someone entertaining, someone who just brings joy into people's lives, pretty much.
For sure. No, and that's the thing is
that's about everybody probably.
That's the thing is, you can go anywhere to watch a video of PUBG being played.
Yeah.
And even PUBG's own website, they've got playthrough videos. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere. You can get a playthrough video anywhere. That's not what people are here for. That's not what people are on broadcasts for. They want that human connection, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's why I like broadcasting. I
Mm-hmm.
get the impression, at least, that that's why you like
Mm-hmm.
broadcasting. Uh, it's
Yeah.
very much about the human interaction, and I think that turning that into
It's
a
mind
business,
control.
I think I think it's the ultimate goal.
No.
I think if you can make money off of genuine human interaction, I think that's where it's at.
Now, how would someone actually turn it into a business? Is when, man, you can hope. You can only hope that something you do that is really your passion would one day turn into a business, right?
Absolutely.
Because you cannot control the market. You can't control people. You can influence them, sure, but you cannot put your hands in their pocket
Right.
and
Take
take
out the
the
money.
money. Yeah,
That's
it
called
doesn't work
robbery,
like that.
kids.
Yeah. I was gonna throw some jokes, but they are not fit for public. Anyway,
Tell
let's
me
keep
those
these
later.
things away. um, but I think if you can make $500 a month, at least $500 from just doing this, like you're doing something right. If you can make $1,000, you're doing something right. If you can make anywhere more than like $2,000 and plus, you, sir, can call yourself a full-time broadcaster
A professional. Yeah.
and professional and someone who actually profits from his passion. Um, but unfortunately, a lot of the up-and-comers are
Welcome, Elliot.
one of the reasons, like they crowd and cloud the industry. Anyway, that's another topic I don't really want to get into because I'll get salty for no reason.
No,
But yeah,
it's like you said. It's absolutely that's the goal. That's that's the goal for anyone in any path in life. If somebody's trying to be an artist, if somebody's trying to be a
yeah,
car
absolutely.
a car mechanic, whatever. Like you can fix cars for your friends, but when you break that point of you make enough money that's all you can do and still
Yeah.
live and still be okay and be able to feed yourself and your family, that's when it's key. I've still got a day job. This is broadcasting, creating is not my day job
Mhm.
yet. And that's the thing is once that becomes self-sustaining and becomes me
Yep.
sustaining, that's when it'll be really fun. Like now it's fun
Yes.
as a side
Yeah.
gig. Now it's fun as a thing I can do to help people. And when I do my client work, that's again I'm putting in value to them. I'm bringing out something they
Mhm.
want to see, and they can't execute it without my help. So I'm real happy to do that.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing that every day or every week to the point of making that money, that's when it's going to be real fun for me. Thanks for the share, Elliot. I am doing all right.
But there's something I watched lately, a video on Facebook, a video that actually made me realize something. Because when I was a music producer, there were people with me that, like, three categories. People I actually surpassed, in the amount of
Right?
whether followers or sales or whatever, and people who surpassed me. Now, I happen to have been, number one DJ in my country since 2008. From 2008 to
Damn.
2012.
Just hold on. Can we just like circle back on that for just a hot second? Did you say
Sure.
the
Tell me.
number one DJ in the country?
Yes, Panovis. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, my
Dang.
friend?
Panubis, how are you going to be on his broadcast and not mine? This is where the show is happening. It's all right. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I understand and I see
Yeah.
the favoritism on Caffeine. It's real. But sorry, go on. You
Oh
were
my
the
God.
number one DJ in an entire country. Just dropping that little factoid in
Yeah,
for
man.
funsies.
According to the lists of the DJ list, and I think so. Number one DJ on in Morocco, and if I'm not wrong, number one psytrance DJ in the world at around 2007. Then I fell off because other people came in, and was 13th or 15th. I don't remember that one, but 13th or 15th in the world in the progressive trance genre.
Hello, Ashley.
Um,
15th in the world?
Everyone got exhausted from jumping up and down.
15th in the world. Can we talk about this for a second? That's incredible.
You have no idea I actually did in the past. You really have no idea.
You're a legend. You're a legend.
I was a resident DJ in one of the biggest radio stations in the world, Trans FM, Trans.fm. You don't get accepted there easily. I'm talking about 2007, 2008, when it was hot. And only if your name is Armin van Buuren or Dash Berlin or, I don't know, Ferry Corsten or something like that you would be accepted. So yeah, I had my own show there. And speaking of shows, these were the days, like the best days. I'm not even kidding. Then produced some of the hottest talents in the world. Andy Adams, Oliver Shine, Angie, Eunice from Canada, who happens to be Moroccan. Actually, I'm gonna play some music for you later, stuff that I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Remixed for Pharrell Williams as well. You don't know about that one.
You remixed for Pharrell. I thought I was talking to some guy who was trying to be a broadcaster. This guy's a legend, just trying to encroach on our space here. This guy's
you're
legend. A legend, man.
You're the legend.
All right. That's gonna be. I'm gonna put. You're gonna need to give me all. You're gonna need to give me your DJ name. I need to tag these videos so all your fans can come see it.
Right. Sure. I never. Since 2013, I stopped actually relating any of the things that I've done in the past with who I am now. Because I just broke up with that. I stopped music production. I stopped theater. Speaking of theater, I have a certificate from the Pegasus Center from Chicago, which is your city.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
Pegasus Center. I got a certificate from that, given that they came to my country. We did some theater work.
Oh my God! I'm talking to a genuine legend, entertainment legend. Wow. I'm humbled.
No, it's my honor, actually. Seriously. But I really don't talk about this too much because it's just things that I've done. It's just encounters. I call them encounters in my life, pretty much. Some of them were happy, some of them were not. But the dream stayed the same, Some people change dreams from, after 10 years. My dream stayed the same forever. I wanted, whenever I think of myself, it's always on the stage entertaining people. However that would be. I want to be Superman. Great Super Dragon. By the way, Super Dragon is my brother. He's my real brother, by the way. He's watching right now. So it's a lot of things that brought us all, to where we are right now. But one very important thing, and I want to share this because it's very, very important. About 6 years ago, I was at a point in my life where I just wanted to give up. I didn't want to do anything. I thought that was it, that my life was done. And I read a book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and that book changed my life. In parallel, I was listening to Les Brown, to Eric Thomas, to Gary Vaynerchuk. Yes, I was listening to Gary way before he became cool on the internet.
Pre the Gary V days. Gary V days.
Pre VaynerMedia.
Pre VaynerMedia. Wow.
And what helped me keep going through the mud was the law of attraction. When I read Ask, Believe, Receive, it was at that very moment that I realized that anything I could actually want to do, one day I'll be able to do it if I actually believe enough in it and put the right amount of energy into it and everything. I wanted to be a DJ, done. I wanted to be an actor, done. I wanted to sing, done. Wanted to be a web developer, done. Even though I suck at that so much. But anyway, that's another story. What else? Like a lot of things I wanted to do, done. And the biggest dream is what I'm doing right now. It took me so long to figure out how I can actually do it. I literally just gave up on thinking how I can do it and just let life and the universe shift itself to help me do it.
For sure.
Because there is no way in the world that I would have known about something called caffeine out of nowhere. Like, I had to pray. I'm not even kidding. When I was done with Twitch, I was done. Like, that's it. I'm not gonna do Twitch anymore. I got on my knees one night and I'm like, God, universe, whatever you are, wherever you are, please, I need a platform where I can actually shine, but be able to help as many people as possible. And I pictured it. I said, I want something so simple. I don't want complications. I don't want anything. In my mind, I'm designing caffeine, even though I don't know about caffeine. A couple of days later, bam, an article about caffeine. I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. And here we are. The rest is just history. So yeah, it's been a huge, long journey of ups and downs and everything. But I can proudly say that we are finally at the beginning of the real journey now. It's not even about the destination, it's the whole journey.
It's always about the journey. It's always about the journey, because that's the thing.
It's all gonna be amazing.
If you don't focus on some sort of end goal, you know, because the problem with set goals is you could reach those goals, and then what? What do you do then? What do you know? If you say I want to reach 1,000 subscribers, and then you get 1,000 subscribers, then you're like, all right, now I've done that.
What's that movie called, dude?
Which one?
The Bradley Cooper movie where he is the cook. Man, guys, do you know the movie?
I don't know.
Do you know the name?
I know what you're talking about.
I have Google.
Right, you've got Google right in front of you, sir. The internet is at your fingertips, for real.
Burned. The name is Burned.
Okay.
Best movie ever. Two of my favorite movies, Burned and The Greatest Showman. If you watch these movies and watch them, of course, without, like, take the fiction out of them, even though Burned doesn't have fiction, it's reality. It's a true story, actually, of one of the greatest chefs, in the world.
Right.
It takes passion, dedication, vision, and belief. Like, you have to believe in yourself when no one in the world believes in you. And then when you make it, people at that moment will be like, what? We never thought you'd be able to do it. And that's why you're not my friends.
Well, I mean, I definitely see that. That's the thing. You have to, like you said, you absolutely have to believe in the journey and in getting there. I think the biggest thing for me has been the pivots, the willing to change and the willing to adapt with the needs of whatever you're doing, with the needs of life. You know, when we first started Nexus, it was graphic design and web design. That's what we did. We did logos, websites. That's it. I walked up to an author one day. I said, "Hey, I'm here to buy your book. I liked your pitch because I had seen him the day before. I'm like, but you gotta let me redo your website because it's trash. It was terrible. It was an awful website." And he said, "Oh, really? Does it show?" He's like, "I bought the software. I did it in an hour." I'm like, "It shows. It absolutely shows. You gotta let me redo it." That turned into us doing our first animated trailer, which then turned into us doing an animated trailer for his second book, and we grew from that, learning from that. I think I told this story last week, so I'm trying to keep it a little more concise.
Mm-hmm.
It it that, and then that turned into us doing video. So like, we never considered doing video, at the beginning, because had we set that hard goal, we want to make websites and get paid for it. Cool, we did that. That was easy. That's that was off the bat.
Yeah.
I had been making websites for 10 years at that point. So like, for me to just get paid for them, that was cool, whatever. So there was no set hard goal. It's just like, we're gonna be this graphic design company, and then this opportunity to do this animated trailer happened, and I'm like, he talked to somebody. This was when motion comics were just starting, and there was just kind of like popping, and there was a company at the convention, and they were like, "We'll do it for $8,000." I'm like, "I'll do it for $2,000." Done. He was like, "Cool, let's do it. Let's boom, boom, sign the contract, all that stuff."
Right.
And that was it. So like, I made $2,000 off of doing something I'd never done before, had no experience in doing. That was the first time I used Premiere. I'd never used Premiere before that, and I used Premiere to animate these static images that I had an artist that I'd worked with before design. The second time around, I worked with an artist from England. I had an After Effects specialist put together the actual motion comic trailer. It looked outstanding. We had way better audio design. Like it was elevated in scope, just because I was like, that's cool. Like I really like the process of making that first one. So we're gonna amp it up. We're gonna do everything we can to make this even better and bigger. And that's the thing, is like those things, those pivots, those changes during the journey, those have been the coolest things. It's not about the goal. I could have said I want to make videos on YouTube, and then you make videos on YouTube. Cool, then you're done. I just want to make cool stuff, and I want to keep doing it. Like I've toyed with the idea of dubbing myself. People call themselves a creative or a painter or an artist or whatever. I want to call myself a talesman. I want to tell tales. I want to
A talesman.
I want to bring back that word. I want to bring that, because I want to tell stories of like, I have a comic book that the script is written. I'm trying to get an artist locked down, and that's going to be a thing. Like, I'm writing that story. We're doing our first fiction video this month on YouTube. Where it's going to be like a little skit, but we also have plans on doing bigger stories and stuff like that. So like, I just want to tell stories, and I don't care how I do it. So that's my thing.
Do it.
Like, and at the same time, like, these broadcasts are the same thing, where I want to tell your story. I want to tell the story of broadcasting and the story of going from an idea of wanting to do something to doing it, and how and how that whole journey happens, and how you're going to work on it. That's why I like having that conversation with Jordan last week. And now, I thought I was going from like someone in the game to someone just starting in the game, but you've already been in the game. So we got two legends back to back. So next week we're going to talk to somebody who's a little lower on the totem pole.
I'm honored, man.
That's
I'm like, wait, you have an Emmy award winner. I'm like, what? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was
step
like,
up the game.
That was the thing. Is like, but then you turn around, you're like, I was the #1 DJ in this country, 15th in the world. Oh, of the 10 million DJs, 15th. Oh, just nothing, not a big deal.
I was just doing it. It was a challenge. Actually, what do you call that? It was a kind of a bet, because I was literally the only trans DJ in my country. I'm not even kidding.
It was a bet. Of course it was.
The only trans DJ in the country, and the only one who actually played that genre in Moroccan clubs.
Okay.
People didn't even understand what trance music was at that point. They hear trance and they're like, oh, okay, Tiesto.
Hey, don't play on Tiesto.
No.
Don't play on Tiesto.
Like, come on, it's trance music. This is not Tiesto. Tiesto doesn't even play trance music. What?
I mean, like, not anymore.
Where have you been? What cave have you been? No, but it was really, it was an awesome experience, actually. I mean, I didn't earn millions or whatever, but it was a great experience. Just 1 second. So yeah, sorry. I had to talk gibberish there. Cat finally made it to the room. That's what I didn't want. So,
You didn't want the cat in the room?
what? I have a really crazy cat. What's your what do you actually think about caffeine after using it for however long now? Like,
I've been on maybe like
away
a
from
week or two longer than you. I've been around pretty much the same length as you. I think caffeine.
So,
I think it's fantastic as a platform. I think the potential is huge. I mean this is a perfect example. You know, we're having this show. You know, we've got live conversation on both ends. It's really I think has the potential to be impactful. And
yes.
I think this is where things need to go. I think the era of the delayed broadcast, barring any like legalities, I know things like the esports, those are delayed, but you know, from their end,
Yeah,
you know, they're not gonna have a live conversation with us, but like,
hey, why not? You never know.
but like.
Put it out there.
It's very much. I think it's huge. I think the era of the delayed broadcast, the delayed conversation is over. I think we're gonna see a change on the other platforms. I think this is gonna. I think caffeine just as an idea is gonna impact everything else going forward.
Would you sell it to someone?
Would I sell it?
Yeah.
Like if I was running it. Like if I was running it.
No. Like, would you sell, using caffeine?
Yeah, I have all the time. I talk about it to my friends. Like I said, I was watching my friend who was doing the broadcast on Facebook, and it was killing me having to have him wait for it. And I was like, "Yo, I need you to check out Caffeine." I'm like, no delay chat. Like we can have a real conversation while you draw, and you don't have to wait for this turnaround time.
Yeah,
you know, because that's the thing is you get in these situations. Plus, he was working on a tablet with a screen. So I'm like, you could have your chat on the screen you're working on, so you don't even have to look up.
Right.
You just do this all day, and your chat is right there. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
exactly, the wait is over. You can interact with your friends fast now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the thing is, the actual platform itself, I think, is huge. I think this is huge for anybody who wants to do creative stuff and wants to do it on the internet. I think this is the way to go. I think this is the move to make. You look at somebody like Hot Croissant. She does cooking broadcasts. Outstanding, because that's the biggest thing is, hey, what are you doing right now? Oh, what's that thing you just did? It's not like 2 steps ago. What was that thing that you did? It's what did you just do, or what is that move? How did you blend that? Right. How much did you put in? Because if let's say you're putting in spices, like I do a little bit of cooking. I'm not Hot Croissant level, but like I do a little bit of cooking. So like if you're putting in spices, like if you're kind of in a groove and you know what you're doing, you're boom. Like I put in 3-4 spices in the morning on my eggs, like nothing. I don't even think about the time spent. So if somebody's waiting 8 seconds, I'm on my 3rd spice. Oh, what'd you just put in?
Right.
Which time? Like I put in a bunch of them.
Right. Like I already ate it, dude.
Right. It's been eaten. Exactly. You know, you look at something like GrooveView. Like GrooveView, their channel is super cool because you have just the live music. Like the other day, he was just jamming out. I just put it on while I was at work. That's it. That's all I was doing. I was working. I was listening essentially to a live private show, which is incredible.
Brought to you by Caffeine.tv.
Brought to you by Caffeine.tv. Welcome, Gaming with VJ. Thank you for joining the broadcast. We're talking with Krawlrr, and we're talking.
Hello.
passion as a business, and if you have any questions about that topic, feel free to drop them in the chat. It's I think, like I said, it's huge for creators, for anybody who wants to do something interesting. I think this is the place to do it. I think if you want to just make a video and edit it, yeah, you've got 1,000 other places to do it at. I think if you want to do something natural, if you want to do something like real and raw, I think this would be an outstanding. I've been listening to a podcast called Hello from the Magic Tavern. It is essentially a improv podcast. They kind of set some rules ahead of time, but they have these characters who are live coming up with stuff, and then they have to play off each other. And I think that, first of all, it's hilarious. If you aren't listening to Hello from the Magic Tavern, check that out. I think to see
you should
that,
send me that on Discord.
I think
please.
to see something like that, to have like put like 3 people in a room, put the webcam on them, and then have them just go off and make up a story, or like watch a D&D campaign as it happens. Like that would be super cool, because you can watch back end, you could have like the chat, the dungeon master with the chat, and then you can have somebody, you can have the audience say, hey, do this next, or have them do this next, and like you can have the audience be the dungeon master.
Dude,
there's just so much cool stuff. There's just so much cool stuff.
I'll tell you something. I don't want you to hate me, but I used to also be a host, but because I've been a radio host, but that's normal. That's just something I've done in the past. But I've been a web TV host for a web TV called Wall 5. That was long time ago, about 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I hosted a show on Wall 5, and we wanted to do just this. Real-time interaction. So we have a couch, and I invite the hottest, the biggest, artists from, in my country, and we discuss music, their shows, the things, just like this, literally what we're doing now. Mine is the interaction. There was no interaction. That was the only thing. I was like, I wish, for the longest, I'm just like, I wish I could actually be able to. I wish there was a two-way stream or whatever they call it. And now it's possible, dude. It's possible.
That's why for several years you've seen people who do live broadcasts use Twitter. They don't have a chat. They don't have a chat for their broadcast. They use Twitter. Yeah. Hey, this person just tweeted this. This person, because Twitter is a faster process to actually have a Twitter app open than most of the chat interfaces on all the broadcasting platforms. Gaming with VJ says, do you have any tips for new streamers or broadcasters?
Be consistent.
Consistency. And I think that's true across the board. I think that's true across the board for anything you do. Be consistent. Jordan last week made an excellent point that I think I want to drive home every single time I do this show, and that is you have to be ready for what you can't think of. You have to be ready for somebody to come in on a broadcast at any time who's important, because you don't know who's going to watch your stuff. I've got 600. I'm coming up on 700 videos on YouTube. I have a back catalog. I have a variety of type of stuff. I have gaming content. I have, pro tips. I have reviews. When somebody comes on, if the head of Sony comes on, or if the marketing guy from Sony comes on, and they're like, I need somebody who could do like cool reviews at a level, at a smaller level. I don't need one of these, 10, 15 million follower guys. I need somebody lower. And they jump on and they see that we've done Sony reviews, that we've done 200, 300 other reviews, and that we do them well and that we do them consistently. Boom. That's it. They're going to contact us because it's already there. It's already ready. The consistency is there. That's what
I meant earlier.
That's why we have this schedule. We have a schedule. I have Monday videos, I have Wednesday videos, I have Friday videos, and then Thursdays alternating. Saturdays and Sundays are once a month. And then the goal for this year for the channel is to get to 7 days a week.
Yes.
7 days a week. That's at the end of, so by the end of the
7 days
year,
of comedy.
at least the last week of the year will be 7 videos and going forward from there. You know, it's
Awesome.
and that's the thing is that
That's
consistency.
awesome.
You got to show that. You got to be able to show that you can do that. So if you're going to be broadcasting, it's going to be get on. If it's going to be get on for an hour, get on for an hour, but do it every day.
Yep.
If it's going to be, I mean, if it's going to be for 30 minutes, if you just want to do a 30-minute broadcast of, let's say, you know, here's my new indie game of the week. Cool. You do a 30-minute broadcast of an indie game, but you do it every single day, and that's it. And is it important to show your face while streaming? He's not comfortable while doing it. I don't think it's a requirement, honestly.
You're beautiful either way.
I think honestly what it is working more into the space of getting comfortable having the conversation live. I think once you're live, once you have a conversation with people, you know, that's why for years you have a lot of channels on YouTube, for instance, they'll do no faces. They'll do just, you know, either if they're doing Unbox Theory for I mean Unbox Theory, I think he showed his face pretty early on, but like you have people who'll do like unbox videos and then they'll have a face reveal, and like that's the moment where they feel comfortable where they're going to do a face reveal. They're going to show you who they are. They're going to open up that next level of themselves to the audience. And I don't see why you couldn't do that as a broadcaster. I don't see why you couldn't do that as a broadcaster at all. You put out content. If you're interactive with the audience, you can't hear me. How about now? No? Now it's fine. Okay. Yeah, if you can do your broadcast, if you can do a consistent broadcast and provide that interaction with the audience, you know, if you do become comfortable one day to show your face, then you do that.
You know, consistency is pretty much stick to what you said, you know? If you said that you're going to do it every day, do it every day.
Yep.
If you said you're just going to be doing it 1 hour every 3 days of the week, do it 3 days a week for 1 hour. Because people are gonna actually respect you a lot more when they see that you're there, you know, like you actually stick to your word. Because that's really all you have is your word.
Yep. At the end of the day, that is really all you have is your word. Are you going to do what you said you were going to do? Because that will determine everything else. That will determine your interactions with your viewer base. That will determine your interactions with a boss, you know, a customer one day, a client. That's going to determine every interaction you have from now till the end of time. Are you as good as your word?
People ask me a question probably every day, like, is this better than Twitch? And dude, can you compete with 2 million streamers and about... Okay, here's a question. Can you compete with 2 million streamers who are broadcasting at the same time? That's the first question. And the second question is, can you get to a level where you can be one of the top 25,000 partnered streamers on Twitch? Like, can you get at that level? Talking about consistency, professionalism, numbers, and numbers are very important at Twitch, and everything else. Like, can you get to that level ever on Twitch in less than 3 years? If the answer is yes, you need to wake up from that dream, because it ain't gonna happen, especially now. You can do it on caffeine.tv.
You're absolutely welcome, Gaming with VJ. That's definitely, and I think that's a good point to close out the broadcast on is consistency. Absolutely consistency, and seeing what's in front of you, seeing the opportunity that you have in front of you. You know, like you said, you were ready to give up on everything. You were ready to be done, and you saw Caffeine, and that's where we're at now, and that's why we're having this conversation now. I mean, I realistically speaking, without Caffeine, I doubt we would have ever met. Even if you had continued broadcasting on Twitch, I doubt we would have ever met, because Twitch I was trying to make that our interaction platform. I was trying to make that our conversation platform, and it just wasn't working. So we weren't doing it. And then when I saw Caffeine, I broadcast almost every single day. That's the difference.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. On Twitch, I had people who waited the show to start 2, 3, 4 hours before. I'm not joking. I would text my girl and be like, just look. I take a screenshot because, usually I'm on the channel, tweaking stuff, working on commands and stuff. And then how do I pronounce your name? Shade. I'm just going to call you Shade. Welcome to the broadcast. And I just see people talking, already having a conversation, whatever the hell they're talking about. They're just talking there. And some of them are like, are you going to start now? Or are we early? And sometimes I just like have to jump in. I'm like, dude, what are you doing at the channel? Hello? Like, are you a ghost? And I had to make some of them moderators because I could see how much they were so into the community.
Right.
Now, one thing I can say that is also more important than consistency is have a why. Why are you doing it? Don't think too much about the what and the how. It's the why. Why are you doing it? Why are you broadcasting? Why do you wake up in the morning? What's the reason? Right? Watch some of Simon Sinek's videos. You will change your perspective on the why of things you do. Your why should not be money. I understand money is definitely important. It's what pays the bills.
It is unfortunately a requirement.
It is a tool. It's a tool. Yep. It's not an end goal. It's a tool. You will make money along the way. You can even get so famous and make money and everything, but never have a why. Even though I doubt that you can do that without a why. Have a vision, a why, and be consistent. Be professional. Less profane. And, be energetic. And have a pitch. That's what I was going to say. Have a pitch.
Have a pitch.
Yeah. When people come to your broadcast, what do you tell them? Who are you? Pretty much.
That's true. That's true. I need a pitch. We'll work on my pitch later. We got one more question from VJ.
Yes.
The question he gets from his new gamers is how do you guys afford purchasing games? And if you allow me, I'll field it first.
Sure.
My biggest thing I have. Welcome, Cyberpunk Tech. Good to see you,
Mando.
One of the biggest things I have done, and this is a good and bad thing for me, I spent about 2 years buying bundles. Humble is definitely a great way to do it, but I found Indie Gala and Bundle Stars, which is now called Fanatical, and on Fanatical you can pick up like 8 games for $2. So you could have at least 8 games worth of content for $2. It doesn't have to be a AAA game. I think Krawlrr mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to. It's not about the game. It's about the conversation. You don't have to be good at the game. You don't have to, excel at it. If you watch my broadcast normally, I have shut down so many games after a minute because I don't like the play style or it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what to do. I'm like, this looks cool, but I have no idea what to do. End game. Done. That's it. There's no instructions. There's no help menu. There's nothing. And like, it could be a cool game, but I don't know. So I'm not, I have 950 plus games. I've got other games to play. So, I might come back to the games in the too hard box one day, but until then, they sit in my too hard folder. But like, I think it's very much, like Krawlrr said earlier, it's about the conversation. It doesn't have to be about the game. I think you don't have to have AAA titles to have that conversation. You can, if you have an indie game, to use myself as an example, to play absolute favoritism to my own product, G-Shift is 49 cents. G-Shift is 49 cents.
Guys, go get it, try it.
It's
Dalibor
a
know
calm name. It's a calm game. It's just a puzzle platformer. There's no, it's not ridiculously hard. If you're an average player, there's about 15 hours of gameplay. So you could get 15 hours of broadcasting out of that one game, because it doesn't require require a lot of energy. You don't have to figure out really deep stuff. It's just figuring out how to get out of the level. You collect a few items, you get out of the level. That's all it is. It's a simple game, so you can focus on that conversation. So you could pay 49 cents and have 15 hours of conversations with people. And I think that is the value. I think the conversation is the value, not the game.
Yeah. Guys, we need to break Steam. Go get the game. You said 49 or 48?
49 cents. It's super cheap.
49 cents. So it's less than $1. Less than
half a dollar.
That's less than the price of a.
Welcome, Ninja. Welcome.
I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, it's less than $1. Break Steam. Get it for your friends, for your girlfriend, for your mom, your grandmother, everybody. Literally, done by T3G Media, and for everybody watching right now, www.caffeine.tv/T3G Media. The show is brought to you by Dalibor, the man you are looking at here. This handsome face. Passion as a business. I think we're about to wrap it up, right?
We are going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Thank you all for joining us. My camera is losing its mind. I think I'm going to switch it out, test it on another computer, see if it's broken. But yeah, this is cool. This is going to be up for those who maybe just caught it at the end, didn't watch it, the whole thing. This is going to be up on the T3G Tangents website or YouTube channel, and on the Tangents podcast. That is available on iTunes, Google Play, and was it Stitcher? It might be Stitcher. I don't know. There's a third platform. I think it's Stitcher.
Yeah.
That's going to go up next Wednesday, so basically a week behind the show. Make sure you guys check that out if you missed the part of the show, and then check out next week. We're going to have another guest on, and we'll be talking more passion as a business. More. Maybe we'll get somebody who's not a legend next time. This time we had the legend, the man, the myth, Krawlrr. Krawlrr, any parting words?
Dude, I'm not a legend. I'm just a regular dude, sitting in his room, playing games and doing weird sounds in front of the camera. That's literally it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast. I loved this conversation. To all of you guys watching, that the show still go on. We're still gonna be playing some PUBG. Just believe even when you don't see it, when you don't understand it, when you don't feel it. Just believe. Have a dream and believe in it. Don't have a goal. Goals are great. You can have a billion goals, but have a dream, work hard for it, and check out every single broadcaster on Caffeine, because you never know. Maybe you are that one person who could actually brighten someone's day. Someone is just broadcasting to forget about the pain or forget about their life or anything. Be that person who actually brightens their day up. Other than that, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a big honor. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you. Those were excellent parting words. And thank you guys. Thank you everyone for watching, everyone on Krawlrr's broadcast. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching this Passion as a Business episode with Krawlrr, who turns out is a legend in the Moroccan space, in the international trance music space. So who knows, man? Who knows who we're going to have on next? I don't know. Nobel Peace Prize winning scientists? Who knows? Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.